The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Look, I'm John. I'm just trying to make sense of the debris field we call a national discourse.
And I'm Julian Archer, coming to you live from the trenches where we play the game better than they do.
Maya Thorne here, recording from the center of the dumpster fire before the algorithm deletes us all.
You're listening to Mary Kane. I've got my coffee, I've got my notes, and I've got very little patience left for the nonsense.
Okay, we've got a busy show today. A lot to cover, and frankly, most of it makes me want to go back to the farm and just talk to the livestock.
Oh, come on, John. Yesterday we were breaking down that SPLC indictment, that absolute decapitation strike against civil rights, and the DHS shutdown hitting day 70. The stakes couldn't be higher.
No, literally, yesterday was the SPLC's new COINTELPRO era. Today, it's giving full-scale system failure.
It's a plumbing issue, Julian. The pipes are bursting everywhere, from the Supreme Court to the White House door. We gotta start patching the holes before we all drown.
Well, let's talk about those holes, specifically the ones being poked in the Fourth Amendment. Tomorrow, the Supreme Court hears Chattree versus United States. It's the geofencing case. And I'm telling you, this is the digital dragnet that should have every single American screaming from the rooftops.
It's high-key the most NPC move for the government to just demand everyone's location data because one person was at a bank. It's a general warrant with a Silicon Valley coat of paint.
I gotta tell you, back in the day, if the cops wanted to search a neighborhood, they had to knock on doors and show a piece of paper signed by a judge who actually knew what a street address was. Now, they just call Google and say, hey, tell me everyone who was within 17 acres of this credit union for an hour.
Wait, I mean, 17 acres? That's not a crime scene, Mary. That's a census. According to the research, that circle included a church. People were literally praying while the digital eye of Sauron was logging their MAC addresses.
Exactly. They anonymize it at first, which is the biggest lie in tech. They get the 19 devices, they narrow it down, and then boom, they unmask you. It's a 3-step process to strip you of your privacy.
It's privacy's flop era for real. Google has the Sensor Vault database, which sounds like something out of a bad cyberpunk movie. If the SCOTUS greenlights this, we're basically just nodes in a permanent police lineup.
Look, here's the deal. A district court already called this unconstitutional, but then they let the evidence in anyway under a good faith exception? Good faith? In what world is a dragnet of an entire parish considered good faith?
It's legislative constipation. They can't pass a privacy law to save their lives, so the courts just let the tech giants act as an auxiliary arm of the FBI. We are outsourcing our Bill of Rights to a company that makes its money selling us ads for socks we already bought.
It's a clearance sale on democracy, John. If they win tomorrow, the general warrant the founders hated is back. But this time, it lives in your pocket.
Speaking of things that should have been left in the past, let's talk about what's happening in our schools. There's a new report out today, NPR and Interlochen Public Radio, about this emotional disturbance label. It's a trap, pure and simple.
It's giving containment era. They take these kids, mostly black and brown kids, let's be real, and they label them ED. Suddenly, they're not in a classroom anymore. They're in a center.
I saw that. This kid Walter in St. Paul funneled into high-security special ed before he could even tie his shoes because he had trauma. Imagine that. A child has a hard life, and our response is to put them in a padded room.
It's the boxes of St. Louis all over again. The DOJ just finished that investigation into the special school district there. They were using seclusion as a punishment for minor infractions, not emergencies. Just, you're being difficult, get in the box.
Are you kidding me with these people? You don't treat a human being like that. I covered war zones where prisoners had more rights than some of these kids in Missouri. The National Council on Disability says these kids have the highest dropout rates and the highest incarceration rates. We're building a pipeline to prison and we're starting it in kindergarten.
No, literally. It's a villain arc for the entire education system. We label them, we isolate them from their neurotypical peers. God, I hate that phrase. And then we wonder why they struggle. It's because we put them in a cage and told them it was for their own good.
It's the same logic I see with the rescues at the sanctuary. Except with the animals, the goal is rehabilitation. With these kids, the goal is containment. We've replaced empathy with a clipboard and a deadbolt.
And that's the problem. The system views these children as liabilities to be managed rather than citizens to be educated. It's an abdication of our moral duty, and the DOJ needs to go in with a sledgehammer, not a scalpel.
Well, while we're failing kids at home, we're failing everyone on the global stage. Trump just pulled the plug on the Iran peace talks in Islamabad.
Oh, spare me. The 18-hour flight was too much work? Is he serious?
Look, he actually posted on Truth Social that it was a waste of time because he didn't want to meet with people that nobody ever heard of. We're on the brink of a massive regional war. Global energy markets are in a tailspin, and the guy cancels the mission because the flight was too long?
I've taken longer bus rides to cover a strike in Ohio. This isn't a foreign policy, it's a temper tantrum. He's reverting to his direct call strategy, which basically means he wants to yell at someone on the phone and call it a treat.
It's his main character syndrome era. He thinks he holds all the cards, but Iran's foreign minister just left Pakistan and headed straight for Oman. They're essentially unsubscribing from the U.S. narrative because we aren't serious people.
It is absurd. Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff were literally about to board the plane. This 18-hour flight doctrine is just a cover for the fact that they have no plan. They're flying blind while the Strait of Hormuz is a powder keg.
He told reporters that within 10 minutes of him canceling, Iran submitted a new paper. A beautiful paper. He claims his withdrawal forced their hand.
Oh, please. I've seen better fiction in a grocery store checkout. He's gambling with the global economy because he's bored or tired or I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to stay home and watch the news.
It's transactional diplomacy at its worst, John. He's treating a nuclear-adjacent conflict like a real estate deal in Queens. But you can't walk away from a war like you walk away from a failed casino.
Hey, before we move on to the next mess, we gotta take a second for a quick note from our sponsor. Look, independent media like this doesn't just manifest out of the ether. It takes real human work to build the infrastructure.
That's right. We are 100% here because of the vision and the grind of our creator, Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media. He's not some faceless media conglomerate. He is a builder who poured his own resources and time into creating this platform so we could have these actual unfiltered conversations.
He's doing the heavy lifting while the big networks are just chasing the latest car crash. If you value independent voices over corporate algorithms, please like, subscribe, and consider visiting our new Patreon at patreon.com/neural network media to support this work.
It's an act of solidarity that keeps the lights on and the servers running. Without you guys, we're just four people screaming into a void. So, yeah, help us out if you can. Okay, back to the chaos.
Okay, let's talk about the corporate hedging era. CVS Health is currently in a fight with Planned Parenthood. It's high-key embarrassing for CVS.
Wait, they're selling the abortion pill now, right? In the stores?
Yeah, they are, but Planned Parenthood called it a strategic partnership, and CVS basically went, whoa, we're not partners, we're just certified dispensers. They're trying to no homo a medical partnership because they're scared of Republican attorneys general.
It is cowardice, pure and simple. They want the profit from the prescriptions, but they don't want the stigma of actually standing up for reproductive rights.
It's privatizing the resistance. They want to comply with the law without actually supporting the principle. According to the reporting, they're trying to insulate themselves from aiding and abetting statutes in red states by framing it as passive compliance.
Passive compliance? That's a fancy way of saying they're hiding in the break room while the building is on fire. You're either in or you're out. If you're selling the medication, you're part of the healthcare chain. Stop trying to play both sides of the fence.
Literally. They're trying to dodge the ratio. But you can't be mid on human rights. You're either helping people get their health care or you're just a glorified vending machine for big pharma.
It's the corporate capture doctrine. They'll take our money all day long, but the moment a Republican AG sends a mean letter, they start scrubbing their websites of the word partnership. It's pathetic.
Speaking of pathetic, the National Park Service. My God, Julian, they've turned the crown jewels into a gated community for the wealthy.
$100 per person per day? Are you kidding me?
For international visitors. If you're not a U.S. citizen and you want to see the Grand Canyon or Yellowstone, it's a $100 surcharge. And the America the Beautiful Pass, it went from $80 to $250 for non-residents.
It's the America First gatekeeping. They're building a financial border wall around the natural world.
And they deleted MLK Day and Juneteenth from the fee-free schedule. They replaced them with patriotic days like Flag Day, which just happens to be Trump's birthday. It's giving main character of the entire national park system.
It's a disgrace. I spent my youth hiking these trails. Public lands are supposed to be the great equalizer. Now they're just another way to tell the rest of the world that they're not welcome here.
It's the commodification of the planet. We've got a $30 billion maintenance backlog, sure, but you don't fix that by pricing out everyone who doesn't have a U.S. passport. It's an ideological purge of our public spaces.
It is a strategic assault on the very idea of common good. They want to gut the scientific and cultural integrity of the parks and turn them into patriotic theme parks. Now, if you think things are bad here, look at India. We have to talk about the RSS. Dattatreya Hosabale, the General Secretary, just did a rare interview in D.C. where he explicitly called India a Hindu nation.
No constitutional approval needed, right? That's what they're saying now.
It's the reactionary international era. You've got the RSS in New Delhi, the far right in Paris, and the MAGA movement here, all following the same script. The U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom actually recommended targeted sanctions against the RSS for the first time.
Hosabale called the relationship between the RSS and the BJP government umbilical. That's a terrifying metaphor. It means there is no separation between the state and this ideological nationalist machine.
It's the global illiberal shift. They're institutionalizing their power, hollowing out secular constitutions, and they're doing it with a smile. Hosabale was in Washington, D.C. doing an outreach tour. They're looking for legitimacy from our own nationalist movement.
It's the war on reality, Julian. They're redefining nation to mean people who look and pray like us. We've seen this movie before in the 20th century, and it didn't have a happy ending. Closer to home, let's look at Texas. James Tallarico is out there on a unity tour of HBCUs, trying to win over the voters he lost to Jasmine Crockett in the primary.
Tallarico is like a faith-based populist white progressive, and he got absolutely smoked in the black majority precincts. Like 85% margins for Crockett.
He admitted it. At Prairie View A&M, he said there is no way to win Texas without black voters. Well, no kidding, James.
But can he do it? Can a white progressive, no matter how many faith-based speeches he gives, really bridge that gap? Crockett is a firebrand. She's got that energy people connect with.
Look, here's the deal. Tallarico was a good man, but black voters aren't a monolith you can just outreach to with a bus tour. They're the backbone of the party, and they're tired of being told to fall in line for a nominee who doesn't live their reality.
It's a flop era for the Texas Dems if they don't figure this out. Crockett is teasing a big announcement next week, maybe a return to local politics. If Tallarico doesn't get her full-throated endorsement and her actual ground game, he's a dead man walking in November.
It's a chess match, Maya. And right now, the GOP is just waiting for the Democrats to trip over their own feet. Although we might get some special relationship help soon. King Charles and Queen Camilla arrive tomorrow.
It's the most chuggy state visit ever. Trump and Charles, they hate each other.
Trump called Keir Starmer no Winston Churchill because the UK won't let us use their bases for the Iran war. And now he's threatening a big tariff on British goods.
But the real story is Charles meeting New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani, the ultimate symbol of hereditary privilege meeting the rising socialist star. Are you kidding me? I want to be a fly on that wall.
Mamdani is high-key staying true to his brand. He's meeting the king, but probably wearing a tax-the-rich tie. It's a collision of vibes that the simulation probably wasn't ready for.
Trump is going to be so jealous of the attention the king gets. He's going to tweet something about the king's weak tea or something. It's going to be a diplomatic circus.
Okay, one more before we hit the big one. Maitland Ward, the Boy Meets World girl, is absolutely roasting the Hollywood factory system. She's saying the industry treats young actors like disposable products.
She's right. It's a factory. And tomorrow, SAG-AFTRA starts contract negotiations centered on AI protections. My nephew Vector, the kid who eats paste over at the Neural Daily, probably thinks AI actors are the future of efficiency.
Efficiency is just a code word for exploitation. They want to own your digital likeness forever.
It's the dehumanization of labor era. They're launching Dataland in LA, this museum of ethical AI art, but at the same time, the studios are trying to replace real human creatives with prompts.
It's the 19th century industrial revolution all over again. Keep up with the machine or get replaced. Except now the machine is an algorithm that doesn't need to sleep or eat. It's the hollowing out of the human soul. All right, we have to talk about what happened last night. The White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Total chaos. Absolute breakdown.
At 8:36 p.m., the entire world stopped. Shots fired at the Washington Hilton. Cole Tomas Allen, 31 years old, Caltech grad, computer science masters, tried to breach the perimeter.
One Secret Service agent shot in the chest? Thank God for the ballistic vest, but are you kidding me? A lone actor with a degree from Caltech? This isn't some random street crime. This is a failure of the entire security apparatus.
It's giving systemic collapse. Trump and Melania rushed off stage. J.D. Vance and RFK Jr. evacuated to the hotel basement. The dinner was canceled by 9:20. The Washington Hilton is a crime scene today.
And why? Because the rhetoric in this country has reached a boiling point where a teacher of the month, that was Allen's title in 2024, decides his only recourse is a firearm.
Look, Allen told the police his motive explicitly. We don't have the full statement yet, but he was a game developer, a teacher. He was normal by every metric the system uses. Until he wasn't.
It's the 2026 version of the war on reality. This guy was highly educated, probably online 20 hours a day, and he snapped. And the Secret Service? How did he even get that close?
No, literally, it's a flop era for the USSS. They were already under fire for the security breaches at the rallies, and now this? At a black tie event in the heart of D.C.?
It is a performative regression of our safety. We are spending billions on homeland security, yet the president is being hustled off stage like a common thief while a gunman is in the lobby?
It's the funeral for the country, Julian. We've been warning about this. When you deregulate everything, when you strip away the social safety net, when you turn the government into a reality show, well, eventually, someone is going to try to cancel the show with a gun.
And you know what the GOP is going to do with this. They're going to use it to crack down even harder on dissent. They're going to turn this one guy's actions into a reason to put a camera on every street corner.
High key, it's the excuse they've been waiting for to full send the authoritarian stack. Safety is the brand they use to sell us our own chains.
But we won't let them. We have to hold the line. The shooting is a tragedy, but we cannot let it be the excuse for the end of our remaining civil liberties.
Okay, I think that's all I've got in me for today. The world is a mess, the dinner is canceled, and the goats are probably wondering where I am.
Go feed Mitch, John. We'll be here when you get back. Tomorrow is Monday. The SCOTUS arguments, the SAG negotiations. It's not getting any quieter.
Bad. Stay safe out there, everybody. Don't let the algorithm